Hi everyone, the Spiderman here. So guys, what an absolutely awesome day yesterday at the British Tarantula show. That venue is just perfect and the show gets better and better every year. I met some absolutely fantastic and awesome people. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that came up to me and said hello and wanted to take pictures. I felt like a celebrity, which was a little bit strange, but yeah, fantastic to see my amazing subscribers. So I spent a little bit of money yesterday, around about £200, which isn't too bad, and I came back home with £70. So I'm going to show you my purchases, what I bought yesterday. So let's get started. So ladies and gentlemen, my first purchase was some very large cork bark, and this cork bark here was £15. So this cork bark here is going to be for my Tarantula apophysis. So I'm going to measure around about 9 inches from here to around about here, and I'll cut that off and put that inside my apophysis enclosure. And the other side here, I'll measure that, cut that around about here, and this part here will go inside my Canthoscurria geniculata enclosure. And I have 2 other pieces of cork bark here, which is I'm going to put one of these inside my new centipede enclosure, which I'll show you a little bit later. And this piece here would be fantastic for other hides. I could probably cut this to about here and put this into my albiceps enclosure. So yeah, they're my first 3 purchases, some cork bark. So guys, my next purchase is an enclosure for my Tarantula sturmey, and I've measured the enclosure and it will fit absolutely perfect on my shelving. So this enclosure here is fairly big for my T sturmey, and she should be okay in here for at least a couple of months. So I'll be putting around about 3 inches of substrate in here, which will go towards where the ventilation holes are. And you can actually split this enclosure into 2, so you could have it as like a breeding box. So you could put the male into this section here, and you can put the female into this section, and that's why you got 2 separate openings. But I'll open the lid in a minute and I'll show you how to separate the 2 spiders, but I won't be doing that. I'll just have my T sturmey in here. So this enclosure here only cost me £12, which is an absolute bargain. So yeah, let's just take the lid off and let's show you how you split the enclosure. So this is how they split your enclosure, guys. You've got a piece of plastic here and you've got them grooves, so you just put the plastic inside the grooves, and that's how you split the enclosure. So you could have a male here and a female here, like I said earlier, and you can just lift this up and let the male walk towards the female. But I won't be doing that, but there's always a possibility in the future when my T sturmey gets too big for this enclosure, I'll put her into a bigger enclosure, and I could use this as a breeding box. You know, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, that was my purchase from the British Tarantula show for my T sturmey. So let's go on to my next purchase. So guys, next up is my beautiful centipede enclosure that's been made to my requirements, and the enclosure measures at 18 inches in height, 14 inches in width, and the length from front to back is 12 inches. So I've got my knife here, so let's just take the packaging off. There we go. So with the packaging removed, you can see the enclosure a lot better. And I did say it has a double lid, so there is the first lid just there. So if I just remove that, and here is the second one that slides completely out. There we go, and that's the other lid that's been removed. So it has a double mesh, so the centipede can't bite through this mesh, which is absolutely perfect. Probably one invert you don't want to escape is a giant centipede in your house. So I've decided to put the big piece of cork bark in there, guys, just to show you what it would look like when I've put some substrate in very soon. So yeah, I think the centipede will definitely love that cork bark in there. And the substrate will go up to around about here. So there'll be a good 10 to 12 inches of substrate for the centipede to burrow, because centipedes do love to burrow. So yeah, that'll look absolutely fantastic in there. And plus, I'll put the water dish around about here. So, and I'll put a few fake plants inside. So yeah, that's in my enclosure for my centipede. So please stay tuned for that rehousing very, very soon. So let's go on to my next purchase. So guys, in this box here are my next purchases. So I have 4 ceramic hides that I got for free. My good friend John Waite, he gave me these, and I have some of these in my Antrodoctonus and Parabuthus velocis orange morph enclosures. So these are perfect for my scorpions. They're actually used for snakes, but yeah, thank you John for these 4 hides. They're absolutely perfect. So I've got some live food. I've got some black crickets, some large wing locust, and I have a tub full of superworms or marioworms, whatever you want to call them. Them 3 tubs of food were £5, and I have 2 bags of sphagnum moss, which were £2 each. One bag will be going into my centipede enclosure, and the other one will be going into my Theraphosa apophysis enclosure. So guys, let's go on to my last and final box of purchases. So guys, I know you're going to be happy about this. So as you can see, I have 2 mantis back in the collection, which are exactly the same species. These were £6 each, but the gentleman said I could have both for £10. So that was £2 discount, which was very nice. So these are giant Asian mantis, which I've never had before, and these are L3, which are fairly big, and I'll be rehousing these into them 32-ounce deli cups that I got from the spider shop last year, and I have around about a dozen, sorry, in my cabinet. So I'll do that a little bit later. So let's just take one out of this little pot here, and let's take a closer look. So there we go guys. This one does look male. You can tell by the segments on the actual tail. More segments, that means it's a male, and less segments it's a female. Male will usually have around about 8 or 9 segments on its tail. Females have around about 6. So as you can see, he's fairly big, and he keeps looking at me thinking, what the hell is that light in my face for? So yeah, beautiful little species. And just unfortunately, mantis don't live very long. So like I said, it's fantastic to have some mantis back in the enclosure. So guys, let's put this one back into its enclosure, and let's take another look at the other one. And there is the other one guys, so let's just give it a little touch and it should come onto my hand. There it is. And if you've never had a mantis before in your collection, please get one, because they're absolutely fantastic. Completely different from any other invert I've had. So yeah, this one is exactly the same size as the other one. Beautiful little species, can't wait for these to get bigger. So guys, I'm going to put this one back into its enclosure, and let's show you my next purchase. So everyone, I've got a spider in here, and this spider is going to hold a special place in my heart. So I want to say a massive thank you to Nicola, who bought me this spider. She tapped me on the shoulder, and I was a little bit shocked. So this is a S. calceatum feather-legged baboon, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know I lost my adult female not long ago. So yeah, I just want to say, Nicola, you're an absolute diamond. So let's just, there it is. I couldn't see it then. There it is there, very, very small. I've got to watch it just don't decide to bolt out of the enclosure. So I've got a fairly large sling pot for this spider to go in, which will be absolutely perfect. And them little roaches that have been hatching, a lot more have hatched now, so I can feed it one of these, one of the roaches, to this spider. So yeah, very nice to have an S. calceatum back in the collection. And let's go on to my next purchase. So guys, as you can see in this enclosure here, I have a Israeli large clawed scorpion, and it was £12, not £15. The gentleman knocked £3 off for me. So let's just quickly take the lid off and let's show you this beautiful girl. So let's just move that piece of cork bark out the way, and there she is, the little beautiful girl. So this is a dwarf scorpion, and the gentleman said she'll molt probably one more time and then she'll be fully grown, so she should be perfectly fine in this enclosure. And I might put a bigger piece of cork bark in. So this one is a venom level 2 or 3. They don't need a strong sting because them large claws do all the hard work. And she's a beautiful girl. I might rehouse her into a bigger enclosure. I might use one of them brass plast tubs, one of them 1.3 litre brass plast tubs. So yeah, I can't wait to feed this beautiful girl very soon. And I'll put a water dish in there a little bit later. I'll just use a little bottle cap. So yeah, nice to have another scorpion in the collection. And let's go on to my other purchases. So guys, next up I have two spiders that I purchased yesterday. So these are both the same species. These are Linothoid megathaloides. Now I've had one of these before. I had an adult female probably around about 4 to 5 years ago. And if you remember, she was in that enclosure that my giant centipede that's in at the moment. And I have never seen a species web up so much as one of these. My adult female webbed up the enclosure that much, I couldn't hardly see her. So let's just pop the lid off one of these and let's take a look. And there you go guys. There is the first one. And you can see them long spinnerets. Beautiful, beautiful species. These get to around about the 4-inch in leg span, females. I've never had a male before. So yeah, these were £8 each. I got them for 15. No wonder I came back with so much money. Kept asking for discount all the time. So yeah, there's the first one. And let's take a look at the other one. So ladies and gentlemen, there is the other one. And it looks like this one's molted. If you look on the right hand side, where the spinnerets are, you can see a molt down there. There it is just there, look. And I was just going to say it's got a beautiful gold carapace that you've seen a little bit earlier, but it's decided to move. So I'll rehouse these into bigger enclosures, and you'll see after a couple of days how much webbing they'll do. So yeah, let's go on to my final purchase. So everyone, I have left my best purchase until last. And there she is. I've got a Huntsman, guys. So this was £40, not 45. And as soon as I seen her, I got her straight away. So I bought this off Polypede, which is a German website. And I know Peter Grabowitz very, very well. I've bought plenty of spiders off him and scorpions in the past. So yeah, she'll be going into my enclosure that I had my Lampropalma viasalopes in. And that enclosure will be absolutely perfect for this spider. And Peter said that she could be gravid. And I really hope she is. He had 3 of these available. And he said this one is a better chance of being gravid. So yeah, this is my best purchase from the BTS yesterday. And I can't wait to rehouse this beauty. So guys, I want to give a massive shout out to Sarah and Laura Park, who I met at the BTS yesterday. 2 beautiful ladies. And thanks for watching, everyone.